Hey guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Today I'm going to be doing some gymnastics with the horses. So you might be wondering, what the heck does that mean? Gymnastics? Horses don't do gymnastics. So basically, gymnastics in show jumping means that we set out some sort of grid or poles that encourage the horse to be more athletic and to improve their technique over the jump. So I'm going to be setting up two types of grids today with the horses, one for my younger 4-year-old and one for the more experienced 6-year-old. So first up, I'm going to be riding the younger horse, Dali. He is only 4, he's only been jumping since the start of the year, so we're going to be doing something a little bit more simple for him. And then afterwards, Khal, the older horse, he's going to be jumping something a little bit more technical and more difficult, and that requires a bit of a stronger horse. So I'll talk you through the first exercise first. Let me just go out into the arena. So this is the first exercise. You can see it all laid out here. So basically we can trot or canter over this first pole, and then we have a bounce stride to a cavaletti, another bounce to a pole. This pole will become a jump once I've warmed up, and then another bounce to a cavaletti to a pole. So you can see that there's going to be ascending and then descending heights of jumps. So what this exercise is going to do is it's going to get Dali thinking about making a better shape over the jump. It's going to encourage him to take off and land closer to the jump, so we're going to get a better round jump as opposed to him taking off far away and landing really far away, whereas he's not making as good a shape jumping like that. So what we're working on with him is that he tends to canter over the jumps instead of taking off with both his back legs from the same place. So this will make sure that he has to take off from this small space right there. So the cavaletti encourages him to take a good last canter strides and set him up before the jump, and then the cavaletti afterwards will make him sit up after the jump and think about what he's doing and land on his hocks ready for another jump if there was one there. So that's kind of the thinking behind this jump. It should encourage him to make a better shape in front and a better bascule over the fence. So now first thing I have to do is go and catch him. So I'm going to go get him in from the field. My last video is actually a tacking up routine and what I do to prepare the horses before I start jumping. So be sure to watch that to see how I, keep the horses feeling really good and prevent injuries. So you can watch that first and then head on to this video to watch what I actually do when I am jumping them. Welbeck was lying flat out and I was calling and calling and she didn't respond, and I actually nearly had a heart attack that she was dead. So that's the update on my life. Good girl. Anyway, here's Dali, who we're catching, and the blue horse over there is Khal. Hello. He's always ears pinned until he gets to you, and then he says hello. Hello. So now I have Dali all tacked up and ready to go. Good boy, Dali. So we're going to get warmed up and then I'll show you the clips of us jumping. Good boy. So after I've warmed Dali up on the flat, I just pop him over a little fence to warm him up before I start doing the grid. Just to say that he is quite sweaty in these clips. It is because he still has his winter coat and it was really hot and humid this day, so he started sweating and I'd only done a little bit of trot, so just so you don't think that I was galloping him around or something. There he actually did a nice flying change. He's starting to get them, just with a little bit of encouragement. And then I come back over and change his leg again over a little water tray on the ground, which my dad kind of misses on the video. But yeah, then he changes, he's on the left leg now. So then I'm ready to come around to my grid. So the first time I come to the grid, Khal actually just trots over the cavaletti because he's done a lot of raised trotting poles, so I think he just thought this was another raised trotting pole, but he then realised when he knocked it that it was actually to be jumped over. So then we come around on the other rein, and this time he kind of realises that he needs to canter over it. So he does that reasonably well. He kind of doesn't shorten as much as he should, but the jump will make him shorten it up now. So this is his first time with the jump in the middle, and he's just really trying to figure out where his legs are. He kind of stands on the pole coming out. He's learning and he's trying to figure it out. So then he comes on the other rein and does it much better this time. He clears all the jumps, but he still needs to learn to shorten his body before the jump and make a little bit of a better shape over the middle jump. So here he doesn't jump over the first one. He actually makes a great jump over the middle, but I think he was concentrating so much on that fence that he kind of forgot about the first cavaletti. So we come around again. This time I make the mistake of not putting on enough legs, so he actually just trots over the first cavaletti again, but does clear all the jumps. Here I then put too much leg on, I will admit, to try and encourage him to jump over the first part instead of trot. But in doing that, I completely pushed him past his distance and I didn't give him time to come back and shorten his stride. So it was a big mistake on my behalf. This time I just let him figure it out and he jumped it really, really well. He's starting to make a bit of a better shape. This was my last time doing it because this time he did it absolutely foot perfect. This is exactly what I wanted from him. He really sat up and I thought I'd leave it at that so that he knew that that was what I wanted from him. After I did the grid, I then kind of tested out if he had learned anything by jumping over this fence in the centre. I jumped a little bit smaller first and then put it up to this height. I think it's around a metre 10. And as you can see from this jump, he's really learned to be really careful with his front end. And he gave a great jump over it, stayed really careful. So I think the grid definitely worked. So I'm just walking Dali off now after his grid work and a little bit of jumping. So shout out to Kiara because she is the one that gave me that grid to do. So I'll leave the link to her YouTube channel in my description. So yeah, thanks you very much, girl. So yeah, he was very good. I'll have done a voiceover, but you can kind of see from the video, I'll leave it all in, that he found it very tricky. He was kind of like, where the heck are my feet at? He finds it very hard to, think of all three fences. He might jump one well, but then he'll forget about the next one, or he'll focus on the middle fence and forget about the first cavaletti. So it's just really good to get him thinking about where his feet are, get him thinking a bit quicker, because yeah, he just finds it hard. He's a young horse. He's never done anything like that before. Well, he has done bounces, but they were very small, so nothing like a big jump in the middle like that. So I was very, very impressed. And then I will put in a video of the last jump that I jumped. I then jumped a few single fences on its own, and I only got a video of the last one, is basically what I'm trying to say. So I will put the video of that in, but you can see from that his front end technique was much improved. He was really careful and really jumping off from the same spot. Like I was saying that he used to canter over fences, but now he's learning to really hit the ground before the jump and then jump over the jump with a nice good shape. So yes, that's what I did on him. Very pleased. And I will see you in a moment with the grid that I'm doing on Khal. So now I have the second grid set up. So basically these two are 2 bounces. Then we have 1 stride to a vertical, 1 stride to 2 bounces. So again, it's symmetrical both ways. So I can jump it off both reins. Here where I have the 1 stride, I have a pole directly in the middle. So it's kind of like a bounce pole. And this again is just going to have him really sitting up, really good canter to the fence. And then after the fence, 2 more bounces to sit him back up as if there was another fence. So this is good for horses that might rush, because not only does it slow them down before the fence, it also slows them down after the fence. So obviously this is going to be a lot harder for him because the bounces are quite hard work, and then we're going to make this middle part a little bit bigger, and then you have 2 bounces after again. So they're really working really hard to stay really in a good shape and really careful. So it's definitely for horses that are in more work and are strong and fit, and yeah, have been doing a bit of jumping. So that's perfect for my horse Khal. He is 6 and he's been doing lots. He's in full fitness now, full work, so he's perfect to have the go with this grid. So the same as with Dali, once I finished doing my warm-up on Khal, I just popped over this fence in the middle again. It's really funny watching how kind of average he looks jumping over these tiny verticals. He just doesn't care when it's small, but as you'll see by the end of these clips of jumping, we jump quite a big jump and he's giving it plenty of room, so it's just funny to watch.
So as we go down the grid, you can immediately see the difference between Khal and Dali. Khal has so much more experience doing grid work and is also just a more compact horse in general. So he finds it very, very easy. He's very experienced. So he pops down that with no problem. So we get in really close to that bounce there, but it's all about letting them figure it out and not really helping them too much. I like to just keep really as still as I can, going down the line, keeping my hands forward, don't help them too much. Let the grid do the work, let the grid teach them to back off the fences. There, he was just getting a little bit lazy, a little bit dead off my leg, and actually fell back to trot. So I really pushed him forward before this, and then he jumped it really, really well and stayed on the correct lead the whole way through. So I was happy with that. So then I moved on to doing it on the right rein. So here he actually knocks one of the bounces, and I'm really not sure why. He kind of just took his eye off the ball a little bit, but he certainly didn't want to knock the rest of the jumps. He was very careful through the rest of it. So again, with him, it's all about just kind of conditioning training, and this is really good for building his muscles and also just keeping him sharp and teaching him to shorten his stride and make a good shape over the jumps. So with the older horses, it is kind of more practicing, whereas with Dali, it was really exposing him to loads of new things. So then when I finished the grid, I was really happy with how he jumped it. So I decided to jump this fence on the diagonal. Obviously we jumped it smaller a few times before we put it up to this jump, but this is about 130 here now, and I actually jumped it twice. Really stupid reason, I jumped it twice because the first time the camera went out of focus, so I didn't get a good screenshot. This is my YouTuber life, but I was happy I jumped it again because he actually jumped it even better the second time, and I was really, really pleased. He tried really, really hard.
Hey guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed and maybe you learned something, or you what are you doing? Or maybe you got some inspiration to do some grids of your own. If you do any grid like the ones I did today, or even any different ones, be sure to tag me in any video that you upload or share this on your story and everything like that. I really, really appreciate it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Say bye, Dali. Oh, he's sulking now. Khal will say goodbye. Bye, Khal.